Oh, so what does it mean to be a Christian? This is a question I ask you. Is it to go to church every Sunday, sit in pews, and then Monday night go to a bar, hit on some girls, do whatever you need to do? I argue it's not. To be honest, I argue it's quite the opposite. I feel like a lot of us fall victim into being what's called a lukewarm Christian. And I'm the first to speak because for the longest time, I would have considered myself one. And I make it I'm even kind of humble to say that I'm not one currently because I cannot foresee my future. But if I stay on this same trajectory, I will no longer be. And the reason I'm making this an issue is that there's a parable I want to read, and it's Jesus in Mark chapter 4. I'll read the parable. It's about sowing. So, this parable, hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow, and it came to pass, as he sowed. Some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. This would be a non-believer. The seed itself would be the Word of God, right? And falling on the wayside, it did enter the ground. So it did enter the person, if you would say, because this is a parable at the end of the day. And then it goes on. So first is non-believer. Second, and some fell into the stony ground, where it had not much earth, and immediately sprang up because it had no depth of the earth. But when the sun was up, it scorched. And because it had no root, it withered away. So this is where I would say the lukewarm believers are. Because they hear the word of God, and they accept it. But there's no fruit that comes from it. So they might go to church every Sunday, and they might proclaim from their mouth that God is king. But when they're actually pressed about it, and when it's time to actually bear some fruit, it's like it doesn't exist. There's two more examples. So the next one, and some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. So me and my brother talked about this, and I feel like this is a good example of the Pharisees and the Sadducees, especially for this analogy, because, obviously they were always after Christ. They never liked his message, and thorns, they hurt. And they were always out to get Jesus, and they eventually did. So I feel like that's that category of the sowing parable. And then lastly, I lost where I was. And other fell on good ground, and did yield fruit that sprang up, increased, and brought forth some 30 and 60 and some 100-fold. So obviously this is the actual Christians. These are the ones that not only proclaim God as Christ, they actively follow it, and they actively fight to strive to be that. They have faith, but not only faith, they have works that show their faith. And in my opinion, that's what makes God happy. That's what writes your name in the book of life. I have one more thing I want to read for y'all, and it's in Revelations. And it's in chapter 3, verse 16. So because you are lukewarm, and neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. And this is what Jesus is saying. It's a scary thing to think of. And I'm not one to cast judgment. I'm not one to pass the blame because I've been lukewarm most of my life. But I do want to inspire you. I want to inspire you as God has inspired me to achieve a better life, to want to strive to be better for God, for yourself, because we live in evil times, and I don't want you to fall victim to the evilness that surrounds you or surrounds me. So I pray for you that if you proclaim Christ, that if you feel like in your heart, I'm not taking it serious enough, today is the day to start taking it serious. And if you need to talk to anyone, obviously go to God. Pray as much as you like. But I'm always open to hear what you have to say. And obviously I'm not God. That's not what I'm implying at all. But, sometimes you do need a shoulder to cry on or to just hear you out. And I can be that person for whoever. It doesn't matter what you need to be told. It doesn't matter. But I think that's all I have to say for now. I really hope y'all have a blessed day. And I'm striving to be a better person. There's going to be a lot more videos. This is the first video, so I'm testing out a lot of things. And I'm figuring out how to do the messages and how long they should be, all kinds of stuff. So I really hope y'all have a blessed day.